All right, well, this meeting to order. Welcome everybody for the September Economic Development Committee. Supervisor Butler is camping this week, so he asked me to take a spot, so you're stuck with me. Pen has been taken.
It has.
We're saying the agenda is approval of the minutes, August 6th meeting.
Make motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion, changes? Hearing none, in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next, Economic Development Grants Update, Jason Kemper.
Thank you, Chairman. Just quickly, our 2024 and 25 grants. We currently have 8 24 grants and 19 2025 grants. Those letters just went out. A lot of folks are working on those projects right now, so those are going well. And for this month, we have 2 transfers to close out 2024 projects. That's for the town of Clifton Park and the town of Malta. And attached to the AIR is all the receipts and backup for those projects. Thank you to those municipalities for getting those wrapped up. So first is committee approval. And secondly is a motion to move the funds out of reserve into the operating account to pay those grants.
All right, just a quick caveat on your iPad, that number 4 is not really correct. It's actually a reimbursement request. It's not approving the actual grants. Is that correct?
Mhm.
So it is, we will need a committee approval for reimbursement for Clifton Park and Malta. We can do those together.
Yeah, we have in the past. Yep.
All right, so I need a motion to approve reimbursement.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, now we need a motion to transfer the funds from Economic Development Grant Reserve and amending the 2025 county budget.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And other than that, there's just an IDA public hearing that's listed there if anyone is interested.
Okay.
That wraps up my items.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
All right, next, Community Development Program Update. Pete Berdonius from the Capital Region Chamber.
Thank you. And hi, everybody. So as I've done in the last few years, we don't get to see each other too often. So I try to make sure that every time I come here to talk to you, I want to give you updates on the things that you've already paid us for, because I want to make sure that you're getting your money's worth. The new ask, of course, for next year will be coming in and be submitted next week. But it's basically, a continuation of where we've been. But I've been working on making sure we got everything done that we promised this year. I did have a meeting with Supervisor Butler last month, and we had a conversation. The meeting notes were in your package. And it's just interesting because we try to share observations. One of the things since the chambers merged a few years ago is we try to make sure that our regional experience helps channel information that could be useful for Saratoga County that now we have access to. And if there's a way we can take advantage of it, great. And if not, it's just sometimes good to see what's going on out there in the world. So a couple of interesting things that actually were not in the report. So a friend of mine who's a Schenectady City Councilwoman, she goes out to a museum in Buffalo, and what's hanging on the wall is a sketch I had scrawled out for somebody about our community development program and how it relates to the canals and some of the canal towns like Mechanicville and Stillwater and Clifton Park, Half Moon, and some of the different historic sites and the historic Lock 19 and some of these venues. It's hanging on a wall in Buffalo in a museum. So there you go. So I don't know how that happened, but I'm not complaining, I guess. And, and the cool thing is it talks about our county in a very crude way, perhaps, but it's there. And someone thought enough of it to stick it on a wall. So for what it's worth. Also, another thing that we said way back when we started this program in 2013 was that part of what we're trying to do here and what the support we get from you guys is kind of seed money to help us get out there and make things happen. And when we keep stirring the pot, hopefully it gets contagious and other people will take up the mantle when they see something that looks pretty cool that might benefit their interests or needs. A good example of that, I know Supervisor Kanowski remembers when we worked on that EXO tower in Mechanicville and that second floor, Fireball Run and all. Well, Kevin Koval decided to take over that train station, and God bless him. I hope that all works out. I personally have been there, boarding up windows and mowing grass and all there at that station. And the idea that that's happening now, somebody is going to do something that's going to bring about preservation project and hopefully improvements there. So that's good to see. While I can't say, oh, wow, it's because of us. I'm glad we had a hand in it because it did help make things more advantageous in the long run. I did share some things with the supervisor, just some concerns, just things I thought I should share because I think it's important to be aware of what we're seeing when we're out there. Since the end of the pandemic, there is still that general unease out there. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's there. People are a little less patient sometimes. I swear to God, I drove in the Bronx all those years, and I don't get passed on the double yellow line as much as I do, unfortunately, in Clifton Park and Boston Spa. I don't know why that is, but it's true. And I think some of that stuff,
It's the way you drive.
it could be. I'm just, driving 28 miles an hour, straddling the yellow. No. But the other thing is, though, is it manifests itself sometimes in bad ways. Increased vandalism, for one thing. We had to deal with a lot more vandalism down in our historic site reservations down there in the Fishery Preserve than ever before. I'll be honest, it taxed our resources to keep up with it. I will also say we did keep up with it. So everything's still okay. And that's good because we have that canal event coming up in October. And I didn't want the place to look like garbage. And it's good. But it was a lot of work to keep it like that. A couple days before I met with Supervisor Butler, they had for the second time, a major vandalism at the historical site up there. Was that the museum up there? I forgot what it was. In Corn.
IP Museum.
Yeah. And I mean, that was twice that's happened, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, some of that stuff was irreplaceable. What possesses people to do that? And so again, we go back to, are there other ways we can harden the sites, so to speak? I'm not sure sometimes, but I am proud of the fact that we've been able to utilize resources to help take care of all of that. We're looking into some of the other future trends, things like why do people rent apartments versus buying houses? Inside Clifton Park and Half Moon is coming up on September 30th, and we're going to ask that question point blank of a realtor. We want to know, and they know we're not trying to put them on the spot. We want an answer. I want a public statement from somebody as to what is it about these housing trends? Why not townhouses? Why not smaller single-family houses? Why is it apartments? And that's important because, again, state mandates, right? You guys are getting pushed to have more dense housing. You're also getting pushed for things like alternative energy. Where's the solar field's going to go? What are we going to do about putting electric buses? All of that pushes you into more dense communities because solar buses, obviously, electric buses work a lot better if you don't have much distance to go to ride them, right? So these are all various issues that are to me something that needs to be asked, and so we're going to do that. We're very concerned about things like that, energy scarcity, and I'm just summarizing some of the stuff that's in the packet you guys got. But two industries that I've said for a long time are very similar: agriculture and the marine industry. There are so many connections between farmers and marina owners. The generational challenges, the fact that there's development pressures, right? There's better uses to turn a marina into something or a farm into something, right? And there's also, those two industries are unique in a way because government decrees, usually from the state level, have a very outsized impact on those businesses. I'll give you an example. Lock One Marina and Shipyard in Waterford is basically out of business. God bless him. He still does a repair business there and has some loyals that like to hang out at the dock. Because the reason why he's in that situation is because of the invasive species concerns on the canals. They have to double flush the first floor locks on the Champlain Canal. It's very difficult to get through. If you want to go to the Dinosaur Barbecue from Waterford for lunch, it's a 2-day trip because you can't get back. Not in a boat, you obviously, So, I mean, think about that. How are you supposed to run a business? That's a Saratoga County business. It's been around for a long, long time, right? There's other businesses in similar circumstances. And obviously farms, the challenges of the land issues, the regulatory issues regarding practices. What was it with these assembly people in New York City wanting to have 700 cows as the limit for, that would cause a few problems, wouldn't it, Joe? I mean, these are the challenges that these industries face. But again, I'm excited because we have tried to work closely with these groups. And I think that's been helpful because we're getting a lot of input. I love it. We're getting, for example, younger farmers to start working with the chamber. Nicolina Foti, you guys met her last year when she was with me for a report. She's on our government affairs committee. And she knows it's a tough task because a lot of those Albany folks she's sitting with on that committee don't understand anything about farm. And I said, okay, you're in the lion's den. You got to make sure that agricultural interests, especially in Saratoga County, are being considered. So that's her role, and we appreciate that kind of support. Just some other resources. We have a new Chief Economic Development Officer for the Center for Economic Growth. Her name is Heather McDaniel. She comes here from the Ithaca area. And very nice lady. And you know, if anybody would like to meet her, or you know, or maybe some of you have already, she is, you know, really part of that relationship we have with Greg Connors and SEDC and all of that. We want to make sure that we're acting as a good regional partner to the local resources here in the county. And Heather is really, really nice, and I think will be a great asset for that. I'm concerned too because I want to make sure that we're looking ahead to the future. You know, like I said, we don't have a lot of changes in plans for the community development program for next year, but I'm always open to if somebody needs a little help with something, and especially if there's ways we can publicize more events and things like that. We've tried to get stuff from every town on the TV at the rest area, for example. As Steve knows, we also, the one big improvement we did this year was to integrate better the Clifton Park Visitor Center, that Exit 9 rest area, with the Saratoga 250 and some of the stuff that's going on there. So there's better displays there. We're partnering with the county administrator's office. We're partnering with Discover Saratoga. We put a video that was almost by accident. You know, I want to say how brilliant I was to figure this out, but it really was an accident. But Greg Connors has a tremendously good video about Saratoga County. Longest video we've ever had on the TV over there, but it looks great. And so we stuck it on the television and everybody's commenting on the thing. And it's all about how great Saratoga County is, why people should consider coming here, why you should invest in business here. And, you know, even if they're wearing shorts, that could be a CEO who's walking into that place who sees that on the television. So that's pretty exciting stuff. We're going to continue to do everything we can. And like I said, I'm open to any questions or ideas for the future, but we definitely appreciate it. This is 12, I guess this will be our 13th year now with this program that we've worked together with the county as a partner. And I believe that it has paid dividends both, you know, for all of us. It's made a difference. There are things that I know are physically intact sites in some of the parts of the county, even little things like the bulletin board in Mechanicville or stuff like that. It's there and it's in fully functional shape because of this program. So thank you, first of all, for that support. And if anybody has any questions, of course, I'm happy to entertain them.
Any questions for Pete?
All right. Well, like I said, we'll be submitting our 2026 plans. You know, obviously, if anybody has any questions, but it's basically a rerun of this year with, again, we just want to emphasize that if anybody has anything specific that we need to help promote in your town, we will do that. And we'll do our best to be supportive.
Thanks, Pete. I know we always appreciate your support every time I call you. You're there.
Well, likewise, you know, it's a good relationship. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
I've had some fun. I mean, you know, Matt's nephew over there with the maple syrup this year. I mean, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Huh? What
Cousin, right?
cousin?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, relative. I can't keep straight. I'm friends with too many Veaches. Like, huh? Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I can't keep straight. But in any case, I mean, it's been a lot of fun, and we learned so much about the various communities, and hopefully that's something that I take with me throughout the region. So, thank you.
Thanks, Pete. Okay, next up, Lauren Roberts.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm asking for the acceptance of a grant from the Champlain Valley National Heritage Partnership. It's in the amount of $30,000. This is in complement for the grant that went through last month. Also for the projection table, which is going to be at the lower level of the Gateway Visitor Center out in Schuylerville. So this $30,000 grant will go to support the Voices from Revolutionary Saratoga exhibit. There are going to be 4 large-scale stationary panels that'll be in the lower level of what we're calling the Saratoga Revolutionary Experience. Each panel will focus on different stories and they're interactive. So you can use a QR code and then augmented reality experience will happen, whether that's a historic figure that pops up and tells you their story. Maybe it's a 3D modeling of a historic drum that was used by one of the drummer boys that was 12, 13 years old on the battlefield at Saratoga. So we have 10 months to get this grant done, and there is no match for this, but we will be giving in-kind services through our hours and coordinating it and installing actually the panels on the wall.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, need a motion to accept this grant.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any questions for Lauren on it? Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lauren. All right, any other business come for us today?
Motion adjourned.
Any second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.